the cloud. Sorry about that, folks. Got a couple folks coming in and hitting the record button. So good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Church of the Angels. As many of you know, the church is an independent, non-denominational, interfaith spiritualist assembly. My name is Reverend Cindy Hudson, and I get to be your facilitator today. Today we're going to spend about an hour together with the prayer, a bit of sharing and song, a few logistics as we get started. You can join us today just using audio if you would prefer that. There's a phone-in option. You don't have to use your video option if you would prefer not to be videoed as a speaker that picks up the video for that as well. The service is being recorded, as you know, so we can share this with everybody and can help more folks connect with us. I'm going to mute everybody in just a moment, and I would ask that you keep yourself muted for the majority of the service, because we found that background noise does interfere with everybody's enjoyment of the service. During the sharing portion, if you would prefer, you can unmute yourself. I did just give you all that opportunity so that you can make comments. You could also just kind of wave at the camera, raise your hand, send something through the chat. I'll keep an eye on that. And then we will make sure that we get you unmuted and can share what you would choose to share today. Because I think what's really cool about this church is that everybody is on a slightly different path, similar but slightly different path. And so we all pick up different tidbits of knowledge and wisdom and information to share. And it would be a real loss if we didn't have that opportunity for the sharing. So we do encourage that after I actually am going to also be the speaker today. So appreciate people sharing their perspectives, because it's a very wise group here today, and we can learn so much from each other. So I want to mention, though, as we get started, that if you wish to make a donation, you can do so through the Church of the Angels website, and that is the churchoftheangels.net. All of a sudden I drew a blank if it was a .com or .net. churchoftheangels.net, and you'll also have the opportunity to make your donation a recurring one if you would choose to do so when you log into the donation link on our website. I want to give a big thank you to the folks who have been donating right along, because it's really helping to keep us going during this difficult time. We still have a brick and mortar building. We are going to be returning to that brick and mortar building a little bit more actively in the months to come. So we do need to still maintain our rent commitment as well. So again, thank you for the donators. Our opening prayer now. Mother, Father, Infinite Spirit, thank you for your blessings on those joining us today to honor your work and experience your grace and wisdom. Thank you for providing the appropriate thoughts and insights, actions, and all resources for us to gain a better and truer understanding of your love by the words spoken, by the healing brought forth here today, so that we might lead healthy, happy, and prosperous lives. Thank you for showing us the way to accept responsibility for our lives. We are grateful to know you are with us always. And now, if you're comfortable, you can repeat to yourself silently or out loud, you're muted, the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. All right, so we've got a couple more folks to admit here. We'll get everybody gathered around here today. And I have asked Judy Nurin if she would lead us in our statement of principles. Judy, I know you're out there. If you would unmute yourself and share with us the statement of principles. Thank you.
Oh, it's so good to see everybody. Welcome back, Jenny. There is one creative force of which all life is a part. This one creative force is known by many names and manifestations. We recognize and honor the many names and manifestations of the one creative force, the source of all creation, one in God. The energy of life everywhere is continuous. All consciousness is continuous. Communication is continuous. The energy of life, consciousness, and communication never cease, even after the event that is perceived as death. One creates one's own reality. One creates in harmony with the one creative force, the great power of God, of which all life is a part. Reality is as one chooses. to perceive and will change as one grows in knowledge of the inner self and one's relationship with the God of his understanding. All things are possible with faith, insight, knowledge, understanding, acceptance, and love. Love is the unifying energy of the universe. Love is the energy of the one creative force, the wisdom of God. All life and all mankind are one in the creatorship and healing of force of love and with each other. Love is within us and of us. Love is never apart from us. It is we who separate ourselves from the power of love. The force of God works through love and love alone.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Judy. Thank you for saying those words in such a way that the impact is felt. They were channeled about 20 years ago now, actually, but still some very powerful words. So thank you for sharing that in the way that you did.
As I prepared for this.
Pardon?
I felt the sacredness of the words as I prepared for this.
Yeah, they are powerful. Thank you. Thank you. And now we'll have a few moments of quiet meditation and reflection so that we can concentrate on going within to find the peace and calm and healing for ourselves and certainly for the world around us at this point in time. If you choose, you can close your eyes or gently gaze at a spot about 3 feet in front of you on the floor and just allow yourself to feel grounded with your feet on the floor or the ground. Resting against the chair, feel the support of Mother Earth and enjoy a few moments of centering. Okay. And I think we lost Anthony, so we're going to gently shift around a little bit, shift your breathing, coming back into this present space, coming fully back into awareness of this beautiful day we have to share. And we did lose Anthony, but we do want to just say, give him a shout out of gratitude for what he shares. We'll use the peace and calm that we've gathered in these few moments to take care of yourselves and to take care of all those around you in your communities, in your families, and throughout the world in whatever way we can. And some of you may be aware that our governor has declared today as a day of prayer for all those who have been challenged with COVID. So among all the issues and considerations we may keep in mind as we send out some healing and some love, maybe we can also consider all those who are struggling with COVID at this point in time. And please add silently or out loud the names of others that you wish to include in this healing energy space. We'll take a few moments to think of those who may need also a special prayer today. And to all of our world leaders, to Mother Earth, to all of creation, may we send this peace and healing energy. Okay. So typically now would be the time that we would have another song from our musician. However, there he is. Okay, Anthony, I know we lost you for a few moments, it would appear.
Yeah, at the very end. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. That's fine. This is the cool thing that we can all just, at least between Reverend Jenny and I, we all have ways to cover for each other. And so we're ready for another song if you are. That was beautiful, by the way, what you shared with us for meditation.
Thanks. Did it come through better than before?
Yes, it did. Whatever your magic was, it worked until it didn't, until we lost you.
Yeah,
Yes,
it took like 7 hours for the computer to load this morning, so I'm not surprised that happened. So.
Yeah. Hey, one other question before we shift our vibration, because the music that you played for meditation was wonderful. Maybe others would agree with me. Do you ever record the music or put it like on a YouTube channel or any way that we could ever re-access some of the?
I don't have recording capabilities. Like I don't know how to do that stuff. All I know how to do is plug my keyboard into a wall and sing.
Okay.
So
Well, that's wonderful.
if I ever knew somebody that knows how to do that stuff and they would help me, I would. I'm sure at some point I'll meet somebody that can help me, but I haven't done that.
And I see Corey, I think, is raising his hand. Corey, are you able to help with some of this IT stuff?
I don't know about IT necessarily, but I do have a recording studio.
Oh my word.
Oh, that's fun.
So
Isn't this auspicious?
Let's talk afterwards, maybe, Cody.
Sounds good to me.
Terrific. Okay. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so excited. This church is such a cool place of synchronicity. And yeah, exactly, Judy. I'm agreeing. I'm applauding too. But so our vibrations have been already raised with an auspicious connection here today. And we're going to further raise it with the next song from Anthony.
All right. This is a contemporary Christian song that I'm going to play. So hope you enjoy it. Standing here in your presence, something more than merely real. Are no words to describe you. Or explain the
I find healing for my soul. And your time alone can make me whole. And my heart cries holy. And my spirit feels the change, feels the change. And my heart cries holy. I will never be the same. I will never be the same. Mercy toward me lasts forever. Your faithfulness is true. As you time, oh, I call to my lips. My mind is made brand new. I could never pay all that you've done. Use my life, glory of the sun. And my heart cries holy. My spirit feels the change. It feels the change. And my heart cries holy. I will never be the same. I will never be the same.
Thank you, Anthony. That was pretty amazing. What beautiful words. What beautiful words that we would never be the same. And thank you, Anthony. Thank you for sharing again. So as we prepare for the speaker today, wanted to take another moment to pause if we could. And one of our congregants has a very young 4-year-old grandson who's going to be going through some pretty serious surgery this coming week. And if you would be so inspired to wish little Ben some extra prayers of healing and fortitude for he and for the family to get through a pretty challenging surgery this coming week. I know the family would be very grateful, and we know the power of our prayer, no doubt about that. So if you're inspired, please send little Ben some of your energy and some of your healing. So now it's time for Inspiration and Thought Exchange, brought to us by me today. I'm the speaker. We invite everybody to address this assembly with passionate ideas that you might hold, words of inspiration, lessons that you've learned, some of the things that you've gathered along the way that you think would be of benefit to your fellow congregants. We love the sharing, and this is such a neat opportunity for us to learn from each other. That's when, like I said before, it's one of the things I think is really cool about this church is we learn from each other. So a little bit about me, if you don't know, as I was thinking about this, I thought, I became active with the church. I went to my first church service with Church of the Angels in the last century, because it was like 1998, 1999 that I first went to a church service that was, at the time, the church was called the United Worship Center. And we were out of a woman's home, and been involved with it really pretty much ever since then, in different capacities. I've been on the board, and if elected, I would be on the board again for the coming year. That's more with announcements. We'll talk about that. By day, I'm an occupational therapist. I work with the elderly. I'm currently in a position where I support education and compliance for a group of therapists. And I have a husband and a dog, and I am so abundantly blessed. So I thought I would share with you some of the perspectives that I've been thinking about this week. Maybe it works for you, maybe it doesn't. I found a quotation, and this was from a book written by The Sayings of White Eagle, and it's called, from her collection called The Quiet Mind. And it says, and I think this is so relevant for this time, it's easy on looking back when you know how things have worked out. It's easy on looking back when you know how things have worked out for you to say, how could I doubt? But it is now, while the working out is in process, that you have to give your confidence to the divine wisdom guiding your life. But that's kind of relevant for right now, right? So I'm going to talk for a few minutes and then open it up for sharing, because I think that's how we all learn, is through each other as well. And I was thinking this week about duality, and I was thinking about contrast, and specifically related to spiritual concepts, where we may have some apparent conflicting concepts or ideas. And we've heard a lot about conflicts and contrasting ideas lately, especially I think this past week and as we move forward in the weeks ahead. And so I considered concepts such as the words fear being the opposite of love. And that's something that a lot of people understand, know, believe. Maybe it's a cliche. It's something I'm still fully wrapping my head around, how fear is the opposite of love, but I don't disagree with that. I think faith is the opposite of worry or doubt. And I think that many of us can agree with that. And I think that the concept of duality is in contrast to the concept of oneness, or that unity or wholeness. And when we consider those above three pairings, faith versus worry, love versus fear, duality versus oneness, when we consider those pairings, we probably all can recognize that we have areas of conflict or disconnects, or whatever you would call them, in our lives. You may have some annoying coworker, and maybe you don't really love them, but that doesn't mean you fear them. And I get that. There's some shaded or gradations here, certainly. And while you may trust the divine and you have faith, when a family member is going through some challenges, there's still going to be an element of worry, because we, for the most part, carry around our humanness. Evolving towards that oneness, that unity, is a process, and we're at different stages along that path, and at different points of life, we're at different stages along that path. And so we have this humanness, where we have this duality, where yes, we may have faith, yes, we still worry, yes, we love, but we may still have fear, and those kinds of things. When I think about duality, it refers to conflicting terms or concepts where we see or battle with both elements of something, such as good and bad. What's your heart's desire versus what are your responsibilities in life? Bless you, Cody. Looks like some sneezes there. We have this duality where we battle with those elements in our lives of what would appear to be contrasting or conflicting ideas. And as we evolve, as we can come better into terms with those areas of conflict or those dualities, we can learn and grow. So what is it that we already know about conflicts or problems? Well, we know Einstein is credited with saying that we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. And I think that is a rich phrase on so many levels. Who's creating the problems? How do we get around them? How do we get over them? Okay, and what a lot of teachers, what a lot of programs would advise For example, like AA, they talk about taking your problems to a higher level, taking your problems to the divine, to the God, the goddess, the absolute, whatever your higher source would be, okay? Taking your problems to that higher level. And that action really is not abdicating your responsibility or your role with the problem, but it's taking responsibility to rid yourself of the conflict. And it's going to be taking the responsibility to take it to that higher power. Consider the word dualities. And when you spell it properly, it's D-U-A-L-I-T-I-E-S. So there's two, like, you know, a dual wheel pickup truck or something like that. It has two. So again, we think about dualities meaning two. But you could also spell it D-O, you know, phonetically, D-O-A-L-I-T-S, dualities, okay? And do is an action word. It's implying that you need to do something to resolve that conflict. If we think about dualities, maybe you need to do something to resolve that conflict, but you know, that can be like trying to solve that problem with the same thinking that created it. If we're trying to do the problem, that's the thinking that got us into it in the first place. And maybe that doesn't make much sense. You know, Wayne Dyer said that we are human doers and we need to become more human beings, with the focus on the word be, okay? The state of being. And if we stop doing the problem solving, using that same thinking that caused the problem in the first place, and just be, focus more on a human being, just being, we can surrender and we can release the struggle and we can take it to another level for resolution. We can resolve the conflict with a different level of thinking or a different level of being than what we used when we created it. And surrendering is not a sign of weakness necessarily, but it can be a sign of weakness. It can be a sign of strength. And I think it's a sign of faith as well. When we surrender that problem to a higher power, we're releasing control, we're surrendering, and we're saying, I have faith, God, here's this problem, and help work with me to resolve it. Help give me the wisdom, show me the way to resolve it. So I've been thinking about my habits and patterns lately, and certainly there's plenty of them that I'm not real proud of, and some I really don't like. And I think that I was inspired to share this topic by as much of what's going on in my own life and my mind today, as well as what's going on around us. There's so much conflict and strife and apparent dualities. So I think it's timely for our nation and for our world to consider these dualities and what we can do about them. Again, that action word do. Being open to the level of surrender, being open to this level of problem solving also takes a certain amount of self-awareness, self-honesty, self-responsibility, and it takes certainly a no small measure of courage and faith. And we all know someone in our lives who tends to keep doing the same thing over and over again, and they're getting the same results. You know, they say, oh, they're dating the same type of person who just isn't the right personality fit for them. And yet they keep, you know, dating these individuals that are the wrong fit for them, and then they complain about their bad luck. You know, maybe some of you know some folks like that. It's like, yeah, you keep dating this wrong personality type for you. I'm not saying they're a bad person, but they're just not a good fit. And then you're surprised when it doesn't work out. So, you know, again, maybe they're not real aware of their own habits and patterns. Living on autopilot, which a lot of us do because it can make it easy to navigate through the days, but it may not be living to our fullest potential. It's safe and it's familiar, and it may be, as I said, somewhat effective, but it may not really help us to be in our full element, okay? We can be missing things by being so busy doing and not just being, okay? If we dare to surrender, that means we must also be open to a new or a somewhat shifted reality. Maybe not completely, but one facet can be a new reality for us. And we need to be willing to, as they say, let go and let God and see what happens, right? Because only then will new possibilities for a new you or a new me emerge. We keep doing the same thing over and over again, and we know that you know, if we do the same thing over and over and expect a different result, that's what's been said the definition of insanity. Because how are you going to get anywhere when you're doing the same thing? But when we don't know or we need the guidance to do something differently, well, if we knew, we would do. But when we're not sure, this is where we take it to that higher power. This is where we surrender. We say, look, I tried A and B and C, and for whatever reason, they're not working for me. I'm still stuck in this habit, this pattern that isn't for my highest and best from what I see. How do I get to that next level? By surrender, by simply being and allowing. And it is not easy. It is not a passive thing by any means. It is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of tremendous integrity, personal integrity, and courage to take that leap of faith to hand the problem over and see what happens. Okay? You know, in Revelations 21, verse 4 is, behold, I make all things anew. And we can allow that newness to emerge, but we have to allow. And I think as we move into fall, you know, it's getting chilly outside, we're moving more indoors, we're bringing our plants indoors, we're bringing in the patio furniture, we're coming indoors, which is also symbolic of going more within. And we've got this opportunity to go within a little bit more. Maybe you might want to consider some of the areas of conflict in your life. Consider the areas of apparent dualities. And hit the pause button for a moment in life. Stop doing for a little bit. Just be and see what happens. And I want to open this up now to share. People can unmute themselves. I know this was short and sweet today, because I'd like to hear people's perspectives on problem solving, getting over hurdles, taking it to the next level. So Cody, it looks like you've unmuted yourself. Would you like to share a comment or?
Oh
an
no, I
insight?
thought I was just getting ready. Then I was being told to turn it back off just until I'm ready to talk because we got noise.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Yes, but you're welcome to share perspectives. I'm going to scroll around and see if anybody has.
There is one thing. You were just talking about how surrendering could be a point of power, and I think like another way of looking at that is you can't. There's nothing to surrender unless you have power. So that in of itself entails that
Ooh,
there is power there.
I like that perspective, Cody. Absolutely. What do you have to surrender if you didn't have power? That's a beautiful way of considering. We all are empowered. What do we do with that power is what we need to consider if we're going where we want to go or where we want to refine the journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for sharing that perspective, Cody. I like that thought. All right, I'm looking for hands waving, chat box. Fran, what would you care to share this morning?
You know, you said that to stop doing, and that's very good advice, but I also think we have to stop thinking. We think so much, and we don't think of our thinking as doing, but it is. So people go, well, how are you going to stop thinking? Well, you stop thinking through meditation or just looking out at the beautiful fall colors or something. And if you find yourself thinking, because we have so much to think about right now, and a lot of it is negative, then you just, envelop yourself in something beautiful, and hopefully you can stop thinking. Or, of course, there is always meditation. That's the great way, but not everyone has ease with meditation yet. So, but anyway, that's
just
my
to stop
opinion.
thinking. Well, and I appreciate that. And I think sometimes just being in the now, as you mentioned, I mean, if you just pause for a moment and can stop the worrying and enjoy, even sometimes rain makes a beautiful sound, or it can be a beautiful day to just cozy up on a blanket and have some hot soup. Just being in the now is another way of hitting the pause button, different from meditation. And I think Carol and Dale, did I see your hands waving? Thank you, Fran.
So I had a powerful experience of how much a sudden change of consciousness can be impactful. I was camping last month at Lily Dale, and I was thinking about about the election and the mess that the country and the world is in, and thinking that I, as an individual, can't do very much about such a vast situation. But then I had a sudden shift of consciousness that I individually am part of a huge community, and that it's not just up to me, it's up to all of us. That all I'm called to do is to do my part to the best of my ability, and to rely on everybody else in the community to also do their part. So I've been doing it, it's about it, and by doing my part, I see myself as not only sending out positive energy that hopefully radiates to others.
So Dale, thank you. You did break up a little bit, but by doing your part, you are sending out positive energy to impact others. Is that
Right.
what you're saying? Okay. I think you faded a little bit, and I want to make sure we didn't miss your words. Absolutely. All we can do is show up. All we can do is show up and be that presence, be that peace. And we know that that ripple effect goes out. You know, there's a book called The Maharishi Effect, which I think is out of print now, but it talks about how our vibrations radiate. And people are saying, yeah, there's a lot of negativity. There is a lot of negativity, but there's a lot of beauty going on right now too. And I think as we think, again, Wayne Dyer, as we think, so shall we be. I know that the negativity is out there, and I'm not trying to be a Pollyanna, but what I can do about it is focus on the positive and radiate that love and light. You know, I heard a beautiful story the other day. There was I think it was from Illyria, but don't quote me on that. It was a news story, maybe you heard it, where there was a gentleman, I think he was 89 years old, delivering pizzas, about 30 hours a week of delivering pizzas. And yeah, so he was an older gentleman, but, you know, trying to make ends meet with Medicare and Social Security and whatever. He's delivering pizzas to make ends meet. And there was a family that really took a shine to him, and they ended up requesting, hey, you know, can this gentleman bring us our pizzas tonight? Because they were kind of regulars of the pizza parlor. And so they got to chatting, and they really enjoyed this gentleman's company. Well, the younger man, who was always getting the pizzas from this guy, put it out on his TikTok account that, hey, can we do like a whatever fundraising kind of event? They raised over $12,000 for this gentleman, over $12,000, and gave this older gentleman a $12,000 check so he didn't have to work so hard in his senior years. And that's a beautiful story. You know, that man was in tears because of the generosity of total strangers. There's a lot of beauty still going on around us. And I would hate for, I don't think this church would lose sight of that. We focus on the light, bring that light in. Bring that light in. Other comments, reflections, things that people want to share? Yeah, Judy, go ahead and unmute yourself.
You know, Gerald Jampolsky, one of the books I've given out to probably more than any other book, is a little simple read called Love is Letting Go of Fear. And so we can't hold both at the same time. Love is letting go of fear. Dualities are necessary. We wouldn't even have life without duality. Because what do we give our energy and focus to? When we resist what is, we actually grow and hold on to more of it. And in reality, probably 80% of what's going on is really good. You know, people are waking up in a way that they haven't before. We're seeing that people that you never thought you would hear from about oneness and talking in the same kind of spirituality that many of us been studying and talking about for so many years. So, and whenever we, you know, I think it's loving it all. We call it the mess, you know, the mess that I am a mess. As much as I'm anything else, I am a mess. And so it's being able to love the mess that I am and the mess that life is. Life is messy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's full of dualities. And so if we can, when we can find a way to be grateful for it, and sometimes when we can't focus on meditation or those other things, just breathing and just focusing on whatever we can find in our lives that's love and grateful can help shift it for everybody. As you know, as we heard, you know, we can be the beacon that we want for the world.
Absolutely.
Sometimes,
Absolutely.
anyway.
So, you know, and sometimes we're the mess and sometimes we're not the mess, and that's okay. That's part of our human evolution and growth, right? Isn't that what we're here for, is to grow? And if we were already there, we wouldn't be here. We're not there yet. It's a work in progress. Reverend Jenny, what would you like to share?
Speaking of sometimes we're the mess and sometimes we're not, I believe that we can be both at the same time. You know, and we can embrace being, you know, knowing that we are the mess, and at that same time we can be the light and the love in the world. You know, one is not, you know, you don't have to be one or the other, or pick a time to be, okay, today I'm a mess, but you know, I think that it's all inclusive. And I also want to say that, you know, spirit or God or whomever giving us time to slow down. Of course, I've gotten that opportunity, which I did not choose. However, in a way I did choose to have somebody else tell me to slow down because I wasn't able to or did not allow myself to do it on my own. And I really love what Fran said too about, even though my body has slowed down, I still have to work at slowing this down, you know, and taking that time. So I want to thank everybody for their comments on that. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Reverend Jenny. Okay. Yes, and Stephen Moore, if I look into his comment, yeah, we are all just a beautiful mess. We are a beautiful mess. And you know, sharing our messiness is empowering, right? I mean, it could be, and then Fran is enjoying Dee's cat, who's making a grand appearance today. That is so sweet. But yeah, being the mess, and Anthony, I'll be right with you. I think that when we share our messiness, we share our humanness, and we realize, wow, okay, we are on this journey together in that sense. None of us are walking on water. None of us are, you know, sitting on a mountaintop making the sheet steam like a well-seasoned monk might do. We're messy. We're learning from each other and we're growing together. And Anthony, what would you like to share?
Sorry for wildly raising my hand. I couldn't find the little button to push so that the little fake hand comes up.
Oh,
Yeah, I can't find that either. Where is
okay.
it?
Okay, and Betsy, I'll get with you in just a second here too.
But I wanted to say thanks for your talk. One of the things that you said about duality reminded me of my favorite spiritual teacher, or the text that I've read is Eckhart Tolle, and he speaks about the laws of opposites, and that everything is subject to the law of opposites, except for all emotions are subject to the law of opposites, except for true love, true joy, and true peace. And those don't have opposites because they're a state of being. They're not a state of doing. They're only to be truly experienced when the mind is shut off. So it's listening to everybody talk was almost like listening to different paraphrased texts from his book, The Power of Now, because the only time I've, at least in the last couple of years since I began the journey that I'm on, I haven't been able to experience, you know, like actual true joy, except for when I was in a meditative state crying, because I felt the connection of something that I would always look by, such as a tree. And I've always felt pleasure and excitement and fun, but those things are external. You know, they come from some type of thing that happened on the outside. They don't come from something that I experienced from within, because I recognize that I have it myself. So that doesn't have an opposite, that actual beautiful feeling of oneness, of connection, of love, of joy. So thank you for what you said, and the reminder that it's really the only way for me to achieve that truth that actual love is when my mind is shut off through meditation. Even if it's a minute, maybe 5 breaths, you know, it's there and it's tangible. It's possible. So thanks.
Thank you. And I love that those are the joy and the love are state of being, not doing. Good reminders. And then I know that Allison has a comment, and Batya, you had a comment. Batya, did you have a comment for today? Batya, I'm not sure if you can hear me. Did you have a comment for today?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you. I really needed to hear the value of surrender. As we speak, the project in Mexico, Femenina Sube, is being covered over with plaster by the owner of the building. She's decided to take back the property, and I've been struggling with what to do about it. And in reality, there's not much I can do about it. I've reached out to the Cultural Arts Center down there, and they didn't respond. I reached out to Art Richard, a guy down there who brought his book about the goddess into the shop. And you know, a friend said she'd move the stuff. I don't even have any place to move the stuff to, so I'm seeing if she can sell off things. But, you know, I guess I just needed to hear about surrendering to what is. In reality, I started the project when I had unemployment of $1,600 a month, and so I could live there and start the project. And then I started to get other online teaching jobs, and now I have one where I'm able to do Right Livelihood and teach, and I actually have to be in front of a camera, you know, 4 or 5 days a week. So I can't just jump on a plane also because of COVID and go down there and try to save the day. So it's also higher power, spirit saving me the money of having to pay out money until I can go back there. So, but at least I have the peace and comfort of knowing that the goddesses are there under the plaster, and they'll be blessing the island with their beauty and grace and shining through the plaster with their energy, and that the project did last for 7 years. And so surrendering to what is there is what my option is right now. You know, fighting to keep it going is something that I'm not able to do. I need to tune into what I can do on the job that I'm in now. So
Yeah, it must be time to shift the energies, but you know, the energy of the goddesses, plaster or no plaster, that energy will be there.
yeah.
And someday, that those images have been protected potentially by the plaster.
That's
You
a
know,
good way to look at
You
it.
go out west, and there's this amazing place called Chaco Canyon, and I will take a couple more comments and move on. But and Chaco Canyon is this incredible Native American village that through time just got buried with sand and grit and whatever, and then they started to excavate it, and they realized there's wood, there's timber still there from over 1,000 years ago, but it was preserved because it was buried, and so they left half of it still buried, or more than half, because Mother Nature is protecting that site. And we can look at the plaster is doing the same for the goddesses.
Protecting them from the hurricane that would blow off the pieces. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. So Allison, you had a comment, and I think we also had a couple of chats I'll comment on. But Allison, what's your comment?
Just my first reaction to that is, can you imagine the joy when someone uncovers that someday?
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine the joy when that's excavated and someone finds that? Like,
Yeah.
pretty fabulous.
Thank you. Yeah.
This is so timely, it's not even funny. So not many of you in the church know, I released a 15-year marriage like 6 weeks ago. And I've been working on that surrender release work all damn summer. And 2020 is honestly probably the greatest year of my life. I am happier in 6 weeks, having let go of that lead weight that was around my neck. And I've met someone who's like a mirror, and we are already showing each other's messiness. And this is exactly what I've been living through in the past 24 hours. So this is how this church works. And this is what I find so amazing about this church. But yeah, the profound way that I released things, I will never be the same. And it's freaking amazing. And it's scary as hell. But yeah, that's the thing to do in 2020 is just to release freaking everything. Like, just keep releasing it. Release the good stuff, release the bad stuff, release all of the stuff, because you can't hold on to anything.
No, you can't.
Nothing to hold on to.
You're right, Allison. You're right. Absolutely. So some of the comments are, God bless you, Allison. Other comments are, I love this church and all the support we get from each other, which is so true, as you're saying, Allison. This is, and Lydia is saying we're grateful to have each other because we do. Stephen Morrow's commenting that duality is life. You know, you have an ending and a beginning, and without the opposing ideas, we wouldn't be able to recognize the other. This is Stephen talking. And could we know joy without sadness? Peace without turmoil? How many people in Ohio appreciate a sunny day, right? How many people in Florida or Colorado or wherever it's 360 days a year of sunshine, how many of them appreciate it at the level that we do, right? So those dualities help us appreciate. But yeah, Allison, kudos for your strength. And as Cody initially said, his first comment is you'd have nothing to surrender if you didn't have power.
That's it.
You have power.
Yeah, that meant a lot. Thank you for that remark, Cody.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Thank you. Full circle here, folks. What a wonderful day. See how cool this church is. This is awesome. All right. Well, I'm going to move on to announcements, and I'll start with mine and then ask for some from the floor. Thank you, everybody, for sharing your perspectives. We're running a little bit. We may be a little bit after noon today by the time we wrap up, but I think that's the beauty of Zoom is we can. It's, you know, when we're meeting live, we may be at that hour and a few minutes mark as well. Maybe not the full hour and a half that we used to be pre-COVID, but so we can go maybe a few minutes extra because we also want to share messages. But I want to make sure people know that tomorrow, October 5th, we do have the development circle at 7 p.m. and that will be a virtual Zoom session. Look for that information on Meetup or on our website. On Thursday, October 8th, we do have an evening thought exchange opportunity, again at 7 p.m. Again, all of this is listed on our website and on Meetup, so you can get the Zoom links for that. Wednesday, October 14th, we have a virtual meditation circle led by Reverend Renee Roth. We have our seance fundraiser event coming up, and I do want to emphasize the fun in the fundraiser part of it. That's going to be October 29th, 30th, and 31st. We have a 3-day event. It's virtual. Again, and you can check out our website or email Reverend Jenny for information about tickets for that. Or you can go to our the Church of the Angels at gmail.com, which is the email. And we've got November 8th elections coming up. To vote, you would have had to have been a member in September. Sounds like a car commercial or something like that. But so we do have the elections coming up on November 8th, and that further information about that, about how you can vote, will be coming out in the very near future. And Batya is saying that she has art lessons, painting from the divine feminine. You contact Batya at weinbaumbatya@gmail.com. I will spell that out. It is WEINBAUMBATYA@gmail.com. It's in our chat box if you wanted to take a peek, or I guess it's to me. So weinbaumbatya@gmail.com. It's going to start on October 10th. Oh, I'm sorry. It's the last Friday in October at 10 a.m. So the last Friday in October would be October 30th. And it'll be at 10 a.m. So WEINBAUMBATYA@gmail.com for more information about that cool event coming up. And are there announcements from the floor?
It'll be on Zoom too.
And Zoom too. Okay, thank you. Other announcements from the floor. I'm going to scroll around and see anybody frantically waving. And we have Lydia. Did you have a comment, or are you?
No, I'm just hot.
Just warm. Oh my gosh, all that sunshine in your room. Okay, yeah, I know that you are out west right now, huh?
It's 100 degrees out here.
Oh my gosh.
We're about half that today so far, I think.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Wow.
Where are you, Lydia? Where are you?
Los Angeles.
Oh my gosh. 100 degrees.
All right. Any other announcements from the floor? And we will move forward. We can certainly visit when we're done with church. We leave everything open for folks to say hello to people as well. Okay, I don't see any other hands frantically waving, nothing in the chat. So I think we are, does anybody have a burning desire to share how Spirit has touched their life this week? A prayer answered or a message that's come to fruition? Burning desires. I want to honor Spirit. Otherwise, we're going to move into another, I'm not going to have another song yet. I'm sorry, I'm tripping Anthony up here. Okay, no, nothing burning there. So as we're going to move into the opportunity for some message work, as spiritualists, we believe that the energy of all beings is forever linked, and that we have direct access to the love, guidance of the loved ones, guides, teachers, saints, healers, and angels on the other side of life. We have mediums who have joined us today who have agreed to be of service, or they will agree to be of service, to connect with Spirit to bring forth a few messages for us. And so I'm going to ask Reverend Jenny if you would be so inspired as to open us up this afternoon or morning or whatever time of day it is.
I certainly will. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let me take a quick gander here. And I am looking. Luann Baker, would you like a message? If so, go ahead and unmute yourself or give me some sign. There you go. Okay, so I'm going to take that as a yes, Luann. All right, as I touch in with Spirit, I want to say that there is a person in Spirit that feels like a brother. I don't think he was an actual brother to you, but he feels like a brother energy. He has that kind of protective older brother feel to him. Actually, I'm hearing that he's not actually someone that you knew in Spirit. This is more like a guide, but he has that feel to him, and he wants you to know that, you know, he's definitely got your back. There's been so many changes going on with you, and there's been a whole lot of growth, a lot of spiritual growth, a lot of personal growth going on within the last, he's saying 3 to 4 months. There's been a big jump, and it hasn't always felt real comfortable. And so he's letting me know that he wants you to know that he's got your back and you're doing great, and you are on the right path. You are on, it is forward motion, even though he says it sometimes certainly doesn't look like that. Okay, so I want to leave that with you with a lot of blessings from Spirit and this one particular guide. You've got an older brother taking care of things, okay? And I'll leave that with you. Thank you, Luann. Let's see. Linda Kupiak, would you like a message, please? Yes, was that a yes?
Yeah.
Yes. All right, thank you.
Sorry about that.
Not a problem, not a problem. All right, Linda, I don't have a clue what they're saying. They just said, stop it, Linda. Okay, as I touch in with you, I want to say that there is a gentleman walking forward that has a limp. I believe it is his left leg. I'm not sure whether the leg is missing or whether there's something wrong. I don't know, but he does say that's how he presents himself. That's his identifier. He's got a limp on the left, and he says that he's back a couple generations, so it may take some time to find out who he is, but he says that's not important. But he walks slowly to you with purpose and wants you to know that you're one step in front of the other. I'm going to say attitude, and that's not really the right word, but that's what I'm feeling. You're one step in front of the other, 1 foot, excuse me, in front of the other, forward progression. A lot of forward progression going on here. He's talking that slow and steady, you know, the old adage about slow and steady wins the race. And he's saying that there is a lot more coming for you, and it's going to come fast, it's going to come hard. And he's saying slow and steady, and it'll be comfortable for you, okay? Also want to say that there is an income opportunity, totally different subject, but an income opportunity that they're talking about that I'm not quite sure which direction it's coming from, but there is an opportunity for you with some increased income, and it's you, not necessarily family income, it's you specifically, which of course is family income, but that's where it's coming from. It's coming from you. So, okay, so there is something that is coming across the pike in all that stuff that's coming in for you. One of those things is going to be an opportunity to bring in some more income for you, okay? And I'll leave that with you with a lot of love. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're quite welcome. All right, let me see if I've got one more in me here. Oh my goodness gracious. Anthony, would you like a message from Spirit? You're not unmuted, but I'm going to say,
Yes.
going to take that as a yes. Okay. All right. All right. As I touch in with you, Anthony, I want to say that there's a woman here. Is your mother in Spirit, my dear?
No.
No? Okay. Then I'm on your mother's side of the family. So I don't know if it's mom's mom or mom's sister, but it's definitely somebody close to mom, because I feel that this woman is coming through, and she comes through with a lot of love, but she also comes through with the pointy finger. You know? And she's saying that what I'm hearing is don't be so hard on yourself, but she's coming at you with the pointy finger, okay? And that there are certain things that have gone on within the last couple of years that have really knocked you on your patootie. And she's saying, you know, you've pulled yourself up. She's saying, with that finger again, that there are times when you almost didn't, and she just wants to remind you that you do have that ability, and you've got so much help from spirit to lift your patootie back up and keep going, okay? And she does that with a lot of love, but also that pointy finger. She's being pretty stern, okay? And I'll leave that with you with a lot of love. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to serve, Cindy.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Reverend. Thank you, Reverend Jenny. And now, Linda Kupiak, would you be inclined to serve, Reverend Linda?
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
Oh, I am unmuted.
There you are.
Fran, would you like a message? That's a yes.
Fran Dietrich or Fran? Yeah, I do. I would love one.
Okay, Fran, as I understand, you have been, they're correcting me, you are a stabilizer. You're a stabilizer, and they're not just in your own life, but in other people's life. And you stabilize it with intent, but from a loving heart. Mm-hmm. And by doing so, you touch, and I'll have a tear, because you touch so many lives in a soft, positive way. But they caution, it's not about uniting people like together as you see it. It's not about that. But, and as I understand, you understand that part of it. Mm-hmm. Being a stabilizer, you're doing it somewhat from a distance, but still active. But what I say from a distance, because being a stabilizer up close, the person is so involved in other people's lives, and that's what they caution. But you really haven't been doing it. I'm a little confused about that. I hope you understand that. Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a warning to not get too involved in people's lives.
Well, I appreciate you taking that. There's so much love in it. And as I see it, they're showing me like you're standing alone with this warrior, you know, with strength, with the stabilizer for others. I lost why they wanted me to say that. Oh, but you're not alone. You are not alone. Do not feel alone. You have the universe with you, as if the hand is on your hand with this, you know, being the stabilizer. Continue moving forward with being the stabilizer. It's really important. It's important work that you're doing, and you're not alone. And there is also a female energy with you. I don't know if it's the mother or maybe an aunt. It's somebody who had, I will say, like power in your life, affecting you, more negative than positive. And that's why this person is present, because she's showing, she's expressing to you what a beautiful person you are and you've become, in spite of her and the darker tones that she was bringing into your life, that you stepped up and you stepped into light, becoming this beautiful woman on your own and also with those around you. And she just gives you kudos for that with just so much love. And I'll leave that with you.
Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Let's see. Samantha, are you there? Samantha, would you like a message?
Yes, please. Thank you.
There is a loving presence with you and just wants to lift you up in a straight, solid expression of yourself. As I understand, you are you're unsure. You're on such wobbly feet. You are in some ways hiding yourself, hiding from yourself. And this energy, this loving energy, who I want to ask for more and more because it's somebody very special to you, and you're special to this person, and wants you to take all those ideas that you have going on inside you and letting them shine, letting them, express themselves. Don't be afraid, and don't wait till you think, oh, I can't say anything, I can't do anything until I understand things. Forget about that. It's not about understanding. We do not understand. We can accept without understanding. Don't wait for that, Samantha. Stand straight, stand tall. And this person with all this love and with this heart is supporting you. Don't feel that you're by yourself. If you feel at times you're falling back, hey, Samantha, this person is right there with you. Keep that smile up and going with that confidence. That will just bring you, that'll bring you more confidence, your confidence in yourself, and able to express this incredible lady that you are. And with much love to that. Thank you for allowing me to serve, Reverend.
Thank you, Reverend Linda. All right, and I have two quick ones. So Fran Rubenstein, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your last name right, but I understand you messaged that you would like a message this morning. And so I'm going to bring to you, the Spirit is showing me your hands, and hands that have been through a lot, hands that have had a lot of challenges going on, and yet perseverance and strength in those hands. There's an area that you're uncertain about. I feel like there's maybe some decisions you need to make that are pretty important, and you're not so sure which way you want to go with those decisions. You will be led to clarity. Don't try to force the decision timing wise. You will know when you're confident with the right approach, but trying to force that decision too soon, you may be making a decision that isn't going to be quite for your highest and best with the best outcomes, as if you wait and then it'll become very apparent which way you need to go. Gather informational resources, talk to people. I feel like you're going to get some information from chatting with somebody that's going to give you that clarity that you need to make the best decision as you move forward. But trying to force it or move too quickly, and you might miss that opportunity for that dialogue that's going to give you that insight. Okay, and so I see you out there. I'm going to leave that with you, okay? And then the other person I have a brief message for is Cody. Cody, would you like a message this afternoon from Spirit, if you're comfortable with that? Okay, great, thank you. So, I wasn't necessarily going to bring you a message, but I was scanning the screen here for a moment, and there was an image of, is your dad in spirit? Has your dad passed over? Okay, yeah. He's connecting in with you this morning, and he is acknowledging that he had a very different approach from yours. Okay, that your views and attitudes on life are not directly inherited from him in some regards, at least. Other regards, some values, yes, but in other ways you're very different from him. And in those regards, he is saying that the student has surpassed the teacher, and he is very proud of you for your direction and approach and integrity with life. Not that he didn't contain those things, but he is saying you have brought it to another level, that you've escalated the wisdoms and learnings that he tried to share with you. And so he is just very proud of you, and he is bringing that through with a lot of admiration. He's saying it's love, yes, but it's also admiration and respect, and that's important for you to know. So I leave that with his blessings, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here this morning. And so now we're going to move on, and I want to say thank you to everybody for your kind attention. Thank you for hanging in there. We're on the final stretch here. I do want to thank you to the participants, the mediums, and especially the Spirit and the God of our understanding for being with us today and always as we move forward through the week. You can learn more about Church of the Angels on our website, thechurchoftheangels.net, or you can email us at thechurchoftheangels@gmail.com. And we have another song from Anthony, and then a brief but different closing prayer. I wanted to shake it up a little bit today. So Anthony, please bring us another song.
Okay, I'm sorry, I just need 20 seconds.
Okay, and we have a message in the meanwhile that Nicolene says, thank you to everyone for sharing the love. I appreciate it. Stay safe and stay healthy. Absolutely, thank you, Nicolene.
Okay, so this song is, it was popular, and I thought that it might have been more appropriate last year or last week for Batya's. Sorry, I can't multitask. I'm trying to find the music and talking. But it's a wonderful song for connection with everything, and here we go. From the day we arrived on the planet, taking steps into the sun, there's more to be seen that can ever be seen, more to do, never be done.
Oh, we lost Anthony. There we go. Oh, give him 30 more seconds.
Is it better?
You know what? We keep losing you a little bit, Anthony.
Should I try again?
You know what? Maybe one verse, and that would be awesome. And we'll see how it goes. I don't know if we're going to stick together or not.
Okay. Well, that's okay. Just say something if it goes out, and I'll just stop.
Okay. I'm glad you can still hear us at least.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. From the day we arrived on the planet, making steps into the sun, there's more to be seen than can ever be seen, more to do, never be done. Some say ego, some say live and let live. All are free as they join the stampede. You should never take more than you give. Circle of life. It's the wheel of fortune. It's the leap of faith. It's the bent of hope. Till you found your place. On the path of winding, in the
circle, circle of life.
Oh, thank you, Anthony. Thank you. Yes, you see all the applause happening out here. Absolutely. What an appropriate song. Yes, last weekend we were talking about the critters, but also as we think about the cycle of life, the circle of life as we surrender and learn and grow. It's a circle as well. So thank you. Wheel of Fortune. And so now for our closing prayer, a little bit of a different one. I believe this is from Marion Williamson. Days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. Lord, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illuminates the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see, wherever we gaze, that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. And so it is, amen. Everybody, thank you for hanging in there today. I know it was a little bit of a longer service. I am going to end the recording, and we can certainly enjoy some time to chat. So, stopping the recording, and